Hello, everybody. I'm back. Welcome to the Average
Oh
Film
my.
Enjoyers podcast. Um, I'm one of your co-hosts, Evan, and Jagger's here. Trey's dealing with some stuff. He just started school, super busy. So yeah, he's just chilling in the background, hanging out, doing some stuff. Um, I just moved. That's why I wasn't here last week. So I'm in my new place. Um, yeah, we got a pretty stacked episode. I've been watching some insane peak, and I got 2 weeks worth of watch lists to talk about. Um, very excited to talk about a couple movies in particular. One that you hate, especially.
Oh, I
Um,
do? Oh,
yeah, you
man.
hate it. So we'll get into that. We got some cool upcoming episodes. Next week we got a little overlap, so it's gonna be like one less thing. We have The Great Escape, which I've never seen. I'm very excited for that.
Same.
The Thing, second best horror movie of all time. Very,
Mhm.
very excited for that. I haven't seen it in a while, so that's gonna be sick. And then we have a Tarantino movie, Kill Bill Part One. I don't know if we've talked. I don't think I've talked any Tarantino on this pod.
Yeah, I haven't really made my opinion on him clear, but I guess I'll have to next week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ominous. We'll talk about it. I'm excited. And then after that, we have Christine, the Killer Car. Very excited for that one. John Carpenter. That's gonna be peak. And then we have Starman, which I don't know anything about. Trey mentioned Jeff Bridges, so hell yeah. IMDb movies, unfortunately, we have to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I love Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I
I'm excited.
hate Monty Python. I can't. I
I
fucking
haven't
hate
seen
Monty
it in like
Python.
5 years, though.
My brother and my dad think it's the funniest thing ever, and I was forced to watch it as a kid, and I just hated it. Maybe I'll change because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And then we're talking the Coen brothers. We're talking a movie that decimates Fargo. We're talking about No Country for Old Men. And it will be Jagger's first time seeing it. Very exciting. Movie fucking rocks. One of the best villains of all time. Maybe the best. Who knows? So that's gonna be sick. Make sure to follow us on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, click the bell, all those
And
goodies.
our merchandise, afepod.com. Spooky season's coming up. Hooptober.
Sure is.
Maybe
I
doing
yeah. Hooptober's gonna be sick this year. We gotta find some Indian horror films, which I'm very excited for because I've only dipped my toe into Indian films, and everything I've seen has been amazing. So I'm super excited for Hooptober. We're gonna have some cool stuff. We're gonna have a little discount code on the merch, so get
hmm
some cool stuff. Get the pickleball set,
Yes, the
pick it up
pickleballs.
just in time for fall. You know what I mean? Hell yeah.
Yes.
Um, yeah. How's it going? You've been in school as well,
Yeah,
dude. It's
I'm tired. I've
yeah.
been away for too long. So,
I get it. Every
yeah.
time September rolls around, I get really nostalgic and just like miss university a lot. I know it's weird to say nostalgic, but like, yeah, I'm just like, I miss hanging out on campus and shit like that. Um, yeah, that's I've been
So, yeah,
working.
how are you doing?
I'm going to Toronto next week to go see my girlfriend's favorite singer. He's doing a 4-night headline concert where he plays all 4 nights. They do panels with a bunch of other bands and stuff.
Ooh.
It's his name is Frank Turner. He's like a rock, some punk stuff, some folk stuff. He's really talented, cool guy. I've seen him live once. He follows me on TikTok, which I always hold over my girlfriend. Like me and Frank are best friends, and she gets really mad about it. But he's like a really cool guy, super interactive with his fans. For me and her 1 year anniversary, I messaged him and I was like, "Can you send us a happy anniversary message?" And he totally did it. He sent us a message, and I was like,
That's
"Dude,
so
can I pay
cool.
you for it?" And he's like, "This was during COVID lockdowns," and he was like, "All I ask is that you send a donation to a um like a venue, a concert venue, like a smaller one, because they were struggling a lot." I was like, "That's so cool." So that's gonna be cool. I have not been on an airplane in a long time.
Love that.
Yeah, I gotta find like a 4-hour movie to just fill the plane ride. I might bust out the rest of the human condition, something like that.
Yes.
So I'm really excited for that. And then after that, I will be having some very early impressions because the Calgary International Film Festival is coming. I unfortunately did not get tickets to Honora. It's sold out. I tried very hard. I will be seeing 3 films, I think. I'm seeing The Seed of the Sacred Fig, which won a bunch of awards at Cannes.
I heard that was really good.
Super excited about that. Seeing Memoir of a Snail, which is from the guy who made Mary and Max, the Tony Collette, Philip Seymour
Mhm.
Hoffman like claymation movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Apparently super sad, really heartfelt. Very excited for that. And then I'm kind of up in the air. There's a few others that I want to go see. There's a Saoirse Ronan movie that I might go check out called The Outrun.
Oh, I
But
thought you were saying.
regardless, no, that one's not playing. I wish.
Oh
And
man,
then my most anticipated movie of the year comes out in 8 days. The Substance. Coraline Farget, I think her name. This
that's eight
screened.
days. Oh my god.
This movie screened at the Screen Unseen in the UK, and all of my mutuals gave this 5 stars, except for one who gave it a 4.5, and he said it's the best horror film of the decade. Revenge,
Whoa.
her first movie. I don't know if it's her first movie, but it's the only other of hers I've seen. Is immaculate. It is so fucking good. So I cannot wait for this. I love Margaret Qualley, Demi Moore. It's gonna be so peak.
All I've heard about this movie is that I heard one person say that it is the like mix of Basket Case and Requiem for a Dream. So that sounded
Sure. Yeah.
fantastic. And I know that there's like something that said like there's a 40-minute naked fight scene of Margaret Qualley and Demi
Demi Moore.
Moore.
Fuck yeah.
So
Sounds
I don't
sick.
know.
I'm very excited, dude. I'm sad. I'm gonna be in Toronto when it comes out. And I'm kind of sad about it, so I'm gonna have to see that. Movie news. I'm sure there's been more, but I've
Joker
just,
Folie à Deux sucks. That's all we've got.
hey, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The Creep tapes, the TV series of the Creep, the movie with
Really?
Mark Duplass, comes out November 15th. 6 episodes. That's gonna be sick. I'm very excited about that. We got the Penguin reviews comes out next week. Apparently, it's great.
Same.
Very good reviews so far, so that's great. That's gonna be peak. Um, we got. I should have done some more research on this one. Yeah, it's been pretty standard. There's some Hal Jordan castings for Lanterns. We'll see.
Cool.
Josh Brolin dropped out, so I think it's between Chris Pine and a couple other people. Oh, this came out today. Clint Eastwood's new movie, Juror Number 2, has a release date, November 1st. At select theaters. It's playing at American Film Institute Festival. I'm not sure where that is,
Oh,
but
yeah. Another thing. Um, the Criterion Closet is in New
yes,
York.
that's
I might
fucking
be
awesome.
able, I might be able to hit it this next weekend, maybe.
That's super cool.
So that is very cool. If not, still cool that they did it.
Yeah, they're going on tour. I think that's awesome. Um, we got a trailer for Venom: The Last Dance today, and the only thing I saw from it was the Venom fish, which I don't know if you saw. Let me send it to you. I'll send it in the Discord. I got it saved on my phone. It's so fucking funny. I won't be watching this trailer. I will be watching this movie. I like both the Venom movies. I think Venom 2 is pretty underrated. So I will be seated for Venom: The Last Dance. Absolutely. That's going to be peak.
Oh my god.
I can't wait. That's going to be so ridiculous. We got reviews. Speak No Evil comes out tonight, I guess. I've seen it. I'll be talking about it. Have you seen the original?
Have I? Yes, but I
Okay.
didn't log it. I just remember being really disturbed because it was like
Yeah.
early on in my horror movie
Gotcha. I'll keep it spoiler free.
Okay. Wait, do they
Um,
change anything from the
yeah.
first one? They do?
The first 2 acts are a shot-for-shot remake, and the 3rd act is completely different.
Yeah, I figured they wouldn't keep the 3rd act of that movie for American audiences. Just sort of
No.
figured.
I was having an interesting conversation about it with one of my Ryan from the Shot by Shot podcast, and he hates the original ending, and I love the original ending. So he was like, "I love this one. I don't like the other one."
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a little bit. Yeah, you want to just
Kick off
jump
watch
into some?
list?
Yeah, let's just jump into watch this. I've got. Let's see here. I'm
Okay,
just
so
gonna
are we
go
gonna
back.
do it the same way we did it of just go through all of
Sure.
yours? Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20.
Okay, I have 31 because it's over a
Yeah.
couple weeks. Okay, you can. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna start here because I don't exactly remember where I was, but I'm just gonna start here. The Graduate, because I want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
I gave The Graduate a 4.5. I thought it was amazing. You don't like it as much, I believe.
No, I again. This was one when I was like first got the Criterion channel,
Mhm.
popped it on. I don't know what I have it at. Probably have like a 3.5. I do want to watch it again. I everyone. I don't know if you had seen the final scene, like the scene on the bus.
I hadn't seen it before.
Okay, I'd seen that scene a million times all over the internet.
Okay.
Music and everything, and so it almost kind of like just set me up for,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did like the performances are great. I remember it looking really good.
Yeah.
Um, let me look. I don't know if I have a review for it, but yeah, I just have a log for it. 3.5.
And then at some point after that, you changed
I
your
will get
actual.
back to it. I yeah, I've seen 2 Mike Nichols movies.
And both of them are.
I watched Partied Closer with the boys, and we laughed our fucking asses off because this movie is so ridiculous. And there's a scene of Jude Law and Clive Owen sexting, pretending to be like girls. It's so ridiculous. It's such a weird movie. I don't know. That one I didn't love, but I could see The Graduate going up on rewatch, just like going through more
Yeah.
storied films now.
Yeah. Absolutely. My next one, The Birdcage. Birdcage is also a Mike Nichols film. I think this film is absolutely spectacular. I have it at a 4.5. Could be a 5. I think it is maybe one of the funniest comedy films I've ever seen. Please check this one
Oh,
out.
dude, Robin Williams looks like he has insane aura. Just pull it up the backdrop. Oh my god, Nathan Lane too.
It's Nathan Lane and oh my god, Robin Williams.
Gene
Uh,
Hackman.
and they play a gay couple, and their son comes in and says, uh, says his girlfriend's dad is like a Republican politician, and he wants to bring the girlfriend over, but the parents wanted to come. So Robin Williams has to act not gay
I'm
to
in.
let the parents go.
I'm in already. You sold me.
It is unbelievable. Hank Azaria gives the performance of a lifetime. Oh my god,
Oh
man.
hell yeah.
So after that, Polyester. Polyester is a John Waters film. This movie was made to be in like in the theaters you would get a card of scratch and sniff from the movie. So sometimes this movie would just cut to Divine on all four smelling things.
What the
Man,
fuck?
I couldn't tell you where to begin with this movie, but it is amazing. I loved it. I gave it a 4-star. I could move it up to a 4.5 on rewatch. It has a Criterion, so if
Damn.
that tells you anything, it's just really bizarre. My
Yeah, I
next.
want to. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
dive into, and I'm sure you're about to talk about him again, but I want to dive into John Waters because like it just sounds like fun shit. Like you just put yourself in the headspace of weird ass movies and then just
Some of these titles will start to sort of open the door of what his movies are like.
yeah.
So the next one, Wiener Dog. This is a Todd Solondz movie. Um, Todd Solondz, pretty weird dude. This movie stars Ellen Burstyn, Kieran Culkin, Julie Delpy, Danny DeVito, Greta Gerwig, Tracy Letts.
What the fuck?
um, it is an
Damn.
anthology. It's an anthology film about a wiener dog that gets passed from house to house, and all of the people that all of the houses that it's in, it sort of brings this weird, chaotic nature. Danny DeVito crushes it. Greta Gerwig and Kieran Culkin crush it. Um,
Man, I need
it's
to
just
watch this
really
one.
weird. It's stylistic. I'm in the middle of one of his other films, Life During Wartime, which is unbelievably disturbing, might I add. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. But Wiener Dog, fantastic. Hairspray. You've seen Hairspray, right? The
I saw it
88.
when I was a kid. Yeah. Oh wait, maybe. Oh, I've only seen the remake of Hairspray. I have not seen the John Waters version.
The John Waters version is
I can only
something else.
imagine.
It is something else. Here's the description for those of you that haven't seen it. Pleasantly plump teenager Tracy Turnblad achieves her dream of becoming a regular on the Corny Collins dance show. Now a teen hero, she starts using her fame to speak out for the causes she believes in. Most of all, integration. In doing so, she earns the wrath of the show's former star, Amber Von Tussle, who, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, is played by Blondie.
Fuck
As
yeah.
well as Amber's manipulative pro-segregation parents. The rivalry comes to a head as Amber and Tracy vie for the title of Miss Auto Show 1963. Just watch it. It is unbelievable. I give
Hell
it a
yeah.
4.5. My next one, Pecker, 3 stars. Enough said.
Nice.
That's another John Waters movie. Then Serial Mom, 4 stars. This is about a mom who's very protective and a son who is obsessed with Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Who's played by and that son is played by Matthew Lillard. Uh
What is this one called? Sorry.
Serial Mom.
Hmm.
Like
Interesting.
Yeah. Then Beetlejuice, 3 stars. Not a big fan of Beetlejuice. And then Beetlejuice, 1 star. Unwatchable.
Damn. I have
Um,
nothing to say about Beetlejuice. I maybe saw it as a kid, and I have not seen the sequel.
Straight Red, 1 star. New poster and backdrop. uh, then The Sandwich, which is a short film directed by Lucas Sinclair, who sent it to me, and I thought it was pretty great. I gave it a 3.5.
Nice.
Next, Mr. Deeds. Mr.
Cool.
Deeds, Adam Sandler, banger.
Yep.
Island of Dr. Moreau. Have you seen this movie?
No.
The movie that on set, Marlon Brando would refuse to leave his trailer. Him and Val Kilmer had some kind of beef on set, so they would only come out like one at a time. And during all of this, there are a bunch, like, I don't know, a good 50 actors all in monkey suits, who were sitting in the heat while these two guys were going back and forth. This movie's about Marlon Brando, who plays an insane doctor, who decided he wants to start making the perfect animal. So he starts breeding humans and animals to make half human, half animals. And yeah, some character names: Aisa, Azazaman, Azazello, Magi, Lomai, Sayer of the Law by Ron Perlman.
Fuck yeah.
David Thewlis from Naked is in this movie. So the 3 leads: Val Kilmer, Marlon Brando, David Thewlis, and then Fairuza Balk. 2 stars. It's funny.
Holy shit, that backdrop's crazy.
There is a little person in this movie, like really
Hmm.
little, whose job is to put ice on Marlon Brando's head in his ice hat.
Okay.
Uh, Watch this.
Interesting.
Don't watch this. It's strange. Next watch DD. Oh my god. Uh, so we'll have this conversation in a minute, but I
Well,
gave this 4.5, then a 5, then put
yeah.
it back down to a 4.5. I don't think it's quite 5 territory, but I think it is amazing.
Did you
Uh,
watch this 3 times or you just
no, I
bounced?
just wiggled my rating around a little bit. I was
Gotcha,
sort of
gotcha.
confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I restarted Twin Peaks, got my mom on it.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
Yep.
Then I watched Lemon, Hollis Frampton. It's 6 minutes of a light moving across a lemon, 4 stars. It's interesting
Jesus
enough.
Christ.
Then
Okay.
I watched Stolen G Fuel.
Where do you find these short films, dude?
When you're sitting in gym class with nothing to do, you find
Mm,
things.
gotcha, gotcha.
Then after this, I rewatched the Poughkeepsie tapes because I watch partied it with Toby. I have this as a 0 out of 100. I think there is not a
W.
single redeemable factor about it. It's just
I like the shot when the girl's tied to the pole and she's getting stabbed and the blood starts pooling through the tape.
yeah.
Like that kind of creeped me out. But that whole movie is just so painfully boring and over the top, excessive, and just fucking stupid. And I hate the ending, how she's still alive. Like, what are we doing here? That movie sucks. Good thing Trey's not here. I shouldn't say that, but like, I'm glad he doesn't have to listen to us shit on it.
My next watch, Steely Dan 2 Against Nature. This is a Steely Dan concert, 5 stars.
Okay.
Gotta love Steely Dan. And then last thing, Wavelength. I'll read the quick plot synopsis here
Yeah,
because
please. Because I'm down. Yeah.
okay. Wavelength consists of almost no action, and what action does occur is largely elided. If the film could be said to have a conventional plot, this would presumably refer to the 3 character scenes. In the first scene, 2 people enter a room, chat briefly, and listen to Strawberry Fields Forever on the radio. Later, a man, played by Hollis Frampton, who directed the Lemon short film, enters inexplicably and dies on the floor. And last, the female owner of the apartment is heard and seen on the phone speaking with strange calm about the dead man in her apartment whom she has never seen before. This movie is a 45-minute long slow zoom in on a window while things happen. Most of the time, things are not happening and the screen is changing color. This is one of the 2 movies that Owen Hates Movies has at a 5 star. Edgar has it at a 5 star. Jay has it at a 5 star. I have it at a 4 star. And then it goes 5, 5, 5, half a star. So I
Yeah.
think
My
that's
my mutuals that have seen this are you and Owen, and then George has seen this movie from the Real Talk podcast. He gives it half a star. He said, "I deserve some sort of compensation for sitting through this entire thing.
I
If you want to
suggest you
have a
read
greater appreciation for Marmaduke 2022, the Emoji Movie, 50 Shades of Grey, and the Last Airbender, or the absolute worst MCU and DCU has to offer, watch this movie. This movie makes Skinamarink look like a best picture worthy film. Is it a bit too harsh? Nope. If anything, I'm being too lenient. There is truly nothing here. So I am very interested in watching this."
that makes me mad, but I have one other comment. 50 Shades of Grey is not that bad. It's really
I, I've seen one scene of it.
it's really not that bad.
I saw a scene where Christian Grey is feeding her toast, and I thought it was funny. That's it. I haven't seen the movie. I'll watch it at some point.
I have it at a 3. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
But yeah, your watch list.
All right, I got a double feature here. I don't think. Maybe I did. Did I talk about Blink Twice and Strange Darling?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll skip for it a little bit. Me and Trey watch party The Guest.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome. This movie oozes style, neon lighting, synth wave score, super 80s style action, really trippy visuals at times. Like the Dan Stevens, this is his best performance by a mile. He oozes charisma. He's so haunting and creepy, but so fucking cool. I've seen this movie 4 or 5 times now. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Top 50, maybe. It is so entertaining, start to finish. Lance Reddick's in it, Micah Monroe. Um, it's just fucking awesome. I told Trey, I was like, dude, we need to watch this movie. And he hits me up and he was like, do you want to watch party this right now? And I was like, yep. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. 5 stars. I missed this last week. I watched Chinatown, first time watch. Loved it. 4.5. Just such a great noir mystery. Um, really, really good time. It sucks that Roman Polanski is so good at making movies because I hate him so much as a human. And every time I log one of his movies, I'm like, ah, shit, that was really good, but I hate it. 4.5. Really, really good. And then I got this in the Real Talk film raffle. And this is the movie I was alluding to earlier. Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh my god.
I watched Hundreds of Beavers, recommended to me. I can't remember who recommended it to me. I'll say my piece and then you can say your piece.
Okay.
If you've ever watched Looney Tunes as a kid,
Mhm.
slapstick shit like that, that's what this movie is. This I will say this movie is too long. It's probably 20 minutes too long. It's pretty long. It's like 108 minutes. It's almost 2 hours long. It's a little too long.
It's about 40 minutes too long. Like,
but it is so over the top slapstick comedy. It's like if you've ever seen the video game Cuphead, that's what the
yeah.
visuals are like in this movie. It is like these 2D, 3D hand drawn logs, and there's this scene where he's trying to get food and then he starts fishing and he builds a snowman and he finally catches a fish, but the snowman's not celebrating with him, so he cuts down a tree to give the snowman arms to put in the air to hype him up. I thought that was the funniest shit ever. The title card to this movie hits like an hour in, and then it's like, oh yeah, he has to go kill 100 beavers. I did enjoy the first half more than the second half because I just found it ran a little long. But this is just so stupid, and you really need to know what you're getting into watching it because it knows exactly what it is and what kind of humor it wants to do, and it does the exact same thing for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
For me, it's a silent film pretty much, except for like some singing musical numbers.
Yeah, with the Applejack stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I gave it a 4 star. I don't know if I would watch it again. Maybe in like chunks,
Yeah.
because the runtime is it's way too long. But I just thought it was so funny. I grew up on Looney Tunes, and it's just that kind of humor. I thought it was so stupid, but I just laughed every minute. I was laughing. Yeah, loved it.
Okay.
They're playing it at my theater right now that I went and saw, like Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that. They're playing Paris, Texas, and Hundreds of Beavers. What a lineup. Crazy shit.
So I'll quickly say my piece.
Mhm.
I think this movie is about 40 minutes too long. And I think about 30 minutes in, they said, oh, wait, we already made all the jokes we wanted to make. Let's run it back. And
Yep.
then they did that 5 times.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And I just think that, like, they did it once, then they did it twice. And then once it was like an hour in, it was like, oh man, that was great. And then it ran for another hour. Like,
It's totally valid.
I just think that I don't understand why everyone's saying this is a masterpiece. Gunch has this at 5 stars with his review saying the closest we'll ever get to a Far Cry movie.
That's funny. I like that.
There's a whole scene in a factory where it's like really badly animated, and that's the joke of it. And I loved that. I thought that that was great. Where you know that thing where he was like on the thing and he was trying to avoid all the beavers.
Yeah, the saws and stuff. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
great.
I liked that, and I really liked the idea that this had. I think it was a great idea. But I just think that much like Terrifier 2, it knew what it wanted to be. It was that for a little bit, and then some point around the hour mark, I was like, okay, this is starting to slow down. And then the next 40 minutes were a complete drag.
That's
Um,
totally valid, 100%. Because yeah, if it, you need to be fully aware that this movie is like the same thing twice. It's an hour and then an hour of the same joke.
yeah.
So that's totally valid. My next one, Quiet Place Day One. Finally watched that on Paramount. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's a really intimate story about a cancer patient and her cat, and she wants a slice of pizza before she dies. Meanwhile, the apocalypse happens, so she's trying to get some pizza. It's great. It's really, really entertaining, but also really heartfelt. Peter Nyong'o is amazing. Joseph Quinn really good. I loved it. I gave it a 4 star. Really good. Yeah. And then I rewatched Kinds of Kindness. I split it
Yes.
up into one act at a time,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed. It's still a 5. I love it. One of the best of the year. Yorgos, my Pookie. And then I watched DD for the first time.
Yes.
This is a near perfect coming of age movie because it does not. This movie perfectly encapsulates how much of an asshole kids can be and teenagers can be because they don't understand what is going on around them. So they just like cut off their friends, say stupid shit, mean to their parents. Is it mean and hard to watch at times? Yeah. Is it totally real? Yeah. It's 100% accurate. This is just like a. It's such a raw look at being a teenager going into high school. You know, Wang Wang, Sean, like his sister's moving away. That's new. His dad doesn't live near him. It's like he's having a hard time, and it's just like these are normal reactions, and it's just such a like raw look at growing up, and I loved it. It's also hysterical.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I love the ending, the start finish. It's perfect. It's my second or third favorite movie of the year.
This made me cry a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
The
man.
scene that gets me, spoilers for like a minute, 30 seconds, skip ahead.
Yeah.
The scene when he says, "Are you ashamed of me?" and she's like, "How can I be ashamed of you? I'm so proud of you." Boom.
Yeah.
Both times I've seen it twice, and both times I just sobbed at that scene. Oh, it makes me cry.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's amazing. I loved it. It's such a refreshing look at coming of age.
Yeah.
5 stars, yeah, peak. And then me and Trey did another watch party. We watch party The Losers. This is a 2010 action comedy, um, directed by the director of the Slender Man movie, which is awful, terrible movie. But this stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Zoe Saldana, Chris Evans, Idris Elba, and it's a gang of misfit soldiers that get stranded, and it's like a revenge tale heist thing. It's just so much fun. Me and Trey watched this. I was playing the Black Ops 6 beta while we watched this. I've seen it plenty of times. It's peak. It's go watch it. It's really fun. um then sorry. uh watched The Idea of You 2024 release with Anne Hathaway, 40-year-old white mom who hooks up with a like 25-year-old boy band member. Pretty mediocre, 2.5. Yeah, and then another absolute banger. Shout out to Remy. This this is called Riddle of Fire. And this movie is about a group of kids whose mom is sick with the flu. She's like, I really want a blueberry pie. So the kids go out to get her a blueberry pie while she sleeps. And it turns into this fairy tale fantasy action adventure movie. It's super surreal and like a fantasy tale, but it's got drug dealers and strip clubs and trying to find mystical eggs. It is such a inventive coming of age movie because it really is like a kid wrote this in the best way possible. Like a kid told their parents about like a hanging out with their friends, and they created this adventure, or like somebody reminiscing about something they did like this. It's such an interesting movie. Made me cry like an absolute bitch. I sobbed at the end of this movie. I can't recommend this enough. It is such a unique movie. I've never seen anything like it coming of age wise. It's just so cool. It it's yeah, top 5 of the year. It's fucking awesome. Just go watch it. Yeah. And then I watched The Ugly Truth. This is a 2009 rom com, R-rated rom com with Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl, and This movie has some of the most out of pocket misogynistic jokes I've ever heard in my entire life. And I looked over at my girlfriend watching this and I was like, am I allowed to laugh? And she was laughing her ass off. So I was like, okay, we're good. It is so fucking funny. It's insanely sexist. Like the jokes are ridiculous. Like this movie would never come out today. But I had a great time. I thought it was really funny. um, yeah, great time. I think that one's on Netflix.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I watched The Fog.
Mm.
4-star. Really enjoyed The Fog. Fun time. Score rips as per usual. Visuals are sick. Good time. Yep. Uh, and then I watched another 2024 release, Skincare with Elizabeth Banks. I thought it was pretty bad. Really boring. 1.5. Don't bother.
Okay.
Rewatched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Matthew McConaughey. This movie is peak 4.5. Love it. This is my second time watching it within a year. Um, actually, you know what? I watched this exactly a year apart.
Really?
Yeah, this movie is peak. Then rewatched Dee Dee, showed it to my girlfriend. She loved it. I loved it again. It's just as good. Um, continued not Fellini, but Marcello, whatever.
Yeah.
Watched Lenote.
Oh, same director as Blow Up.
Yeah, Lenote blew me away. This movie takes place over the course of one night. It's about a couple and they're feeling this almost indifference to each other and they just, they go out. It's a film with not a lot of dialogue, but the facial expressions say so much. It's really just a peel back the layers of these characters. Look at a relationship. I thought it was a masterpiece. I loved it. 5 stars. Marcello Mastroianni is just the coolest guy on the planet. I've never seen a more attractive man in my life. Honestly, it's crazy. Lenote was amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out Blow Up soon. Lenote, yeah, really good. After that, I watched the 2008 hit rom com Fool's Gold.
Oh my
Um,
god.
with Matthew McConaughey. We've been on a tear. This one was really boring, not entertaining. 2 stars. Didn't really have a good time with it. Um, yeah, pretty mid. And then new release from one of my top pookies, Jeremy Saulnier, director of Blue Ruin and Green Room. Rebel Ridge, Netflix release. I loved it. It's a slow burn, like mystery, action, drama, thriller. Not super action packed, but the shot selection's insane. The acting is so good. This is mid-sized sedan from Old is the main character in this movie, Jagger. And he is so good in this movie, dude. I gave this a 4.5. I loved it. I would highly recommend watching this. It's on Netflix. Yeah, really good. I don't want to say too much. Don Johnson's in it. He's a piece of shit. Roy from The Office is in it. Yeah, really good. Very glad I watched it.
Totally
We
sure
watched
what
this.
you're describing, but it sounds interesting
Yeah,
enough.
it's really good. It's about this guy and he's trying to deliver money to his cousin who is in jail to post bail, and he gets ran off the road by cops, and they're like really corrupt cops, and the cops take the money, but he really needs to get his cousin out of jail for reasons I won't say. So it's like this, not, I don't want to say revenge, but it's this like dark drama thriller about that's like all I would say. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, I watched The Other Woman with Cameron Diaz, Leslie Mann, and Kate Upton, also
Okay.
starring Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones. This movie bangs. It is so fun. If you want to see Jamie Lannister shit his pants and grow massive nipples, so the plot of this movie, Jagger, is that
Can you say the title once more?
the other woman, Nikolai, I'll just call him Nikolai. I don't know how to say his last name. Um, Coster Waldo, something like that. He is this player. He's married to Leslie Mann, and he's cheating on her with Cameron Diaz and Kate Upton. And they all find out, so they plot this revenge to fuck him over. And that's it. You just watch him get absolutely tormented by these girls. It's really entertaining. There's a insanely out of pocket joke in this movie where they put estrogen in his protein smoothies and his nipples get really big and he looks at Leslie Mann and he goes, "My nipples just look like they got done working a double shift in Africa feeding a village." It's yeah, I know. My jaw dropped when I heard that joke. It's really funny. Yeah. A good
Okay.
movie. Had a fun time. Really funny. Um then I watched Finding Nemo. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Uh watched half of Rashomon. I was busy, couldn't get to the rest. I will. And
Yes.
then Trey recommended me The Puppet Man. I thought the first half was really mid. It's really slow. And then the gore in the second half is crazy. There's some really good kills here. The plot is that there's this serial killer kills his family except his daughter, and he's in jail, but he always claimed he was possessed by a demon, and now she thinks she's possessed by the same demon. Cool premise, pretty slow, but yeah, there's some really good kills at the end. Um, did a double feature of the Escape movies. We'll talk about those in a little bit, and then I watched Speak No Evil. I gave it a 3. The first 2 acts again are the same as the original,
Okay.
but James McAvoy is so good in this movie. Oh my god, he's absolutely amazing. Like he
Okay.
carries.
They're playing it at my local theater, and I'm able to go see it because that theater doesn't care. They just let anyone see whatever they want. They show whatever.
Right.
So, is it worth going to see, or should I wait for it to inevitably come to like Hulu?
Well, okay, so here's my thing. Do you remember what happens at the end of the original?
I think so. I remember a couple of snippets,
Right. Okay. So
but I can't remember like the ending
I think it's worth seeing
just
and
to see
then
the changes.
just to watch it because it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. I just don't like the changes.
Okay.
That's my issues with it. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means. I just prefer the original because I think the original takes more risks and is a bit more
Unhinged.
daring with its choices. Like I once you watch both, if you go see, then we can talk
Yeah.
about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But
I'll see if
um,
I can get
it's
to it.
definitely worth seeing. Just James McAvoy is really great. There's there's a scene in the original where the kids are dancing
Mhm.
and the dad of the other kid, like not the main parent's kid, is ripping on them. And in the original, it's a extremely haunting, very scary scene. The
Yeah.
music, it's a Danish movie, so it's a Danish song playing. In the remake, it's Cotton Eye Joe. And I laughed my ass off during this scene. I thought it was so funny, dude. I could not take it seriously.
Is that the thing where he throws the glass at the kid
Yeah.
in this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's worth seeing. It's a good movie. I just don't like the ending changes. Um, yeah, I'll probably watch it again at some point. I want to show it to my girlfriend because we watched the original together and she really likes it. So we'll see. Um, there's been a lot of talk in the film community about 2009's Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie movie.
God.
And I was curious.
Not good.
I
It's
was
not
curious. So
good.
I rewatched it. I had seen this movie when I was young. I am a known Halloween hater. I don't like this film franchise. I think it is really subpar and overrated. This movie is insane. Jagger, you need to tell me to my face that this movie is not a ripoff of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Laurie Strode and Laura Palmer are the same character. There's a fucking unicorn in this movie. It is literally Twin Peaks. It's crazy. It
Oh my
it's
god.
it's weird. It doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. It's really surreal. The
I didn't even
kills
think of that.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Oscar about it, who loves Twin Peaks, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, it's literally Twin Peaks. Fire Walk with Me." I was like, "Yeah, you're so right." Um, I had a good time. I watched it while I was cooking dinner, and the kills are insane. This movie is vile. It is so graphic and violent. It's nuts.
Yeah.
um, so I mean, I wasn't insanely locked in. I was making chili. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I like fucked up violent horror movies. You know, I love Terrifier too. To its social commentary on mental health, I
Uh-uh.
I don't have anything to add to it. I don't think this is a 4.5 or a 5. I know Trey loves this movie. It's like a 3.5 to a 4. I think it's a good time. Um,
I hate the Rob Zombie Halloween movies with a burning passion.
do you like any Rob Zombie movies?
No.
Because
I
I
think
really
Rob
like
Zombie
House of a
needs to
Thousand
stay in the
Corpses.
music. I don't like House of a Thousand Corpses. I think
House
it's
of a
way
Thousand
overrated.
House of a Thousand Corpses is very Texas Chainsaw Massacre esque, so maybe that's why I enjoy it.
And I love Texas Chainsaw. I think
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw is a near perfect horror film. I don't know. I think Rob Zombie should have stayed in the music zone, but I his other movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've seen Devil's
Yeah, and then to finish off my watch list, did a triple feature today. This is my first day off in a little bit. Um, and then I work 6 days in a row starting tomorrow. So today was raw. I beat Bloodborne in one sitting today
Really?
while watching some of these movies. I took a break to watch Demons, but I beat Bloodborne in 5.5 hours today
That's an
on a fresh character.
insane.
Yeah. It's like my 15th time beating it, so I just like it's pretty quick. It's funny, you know the chalice dungeons in Bloodborne, like
Yeah.
the procedurally. So there's one. I only use it to buy blood vials, but they call it the cum dungeon because you can input codes to certain dungeons and it'll spawn you in. And it's a dungeon where there's one enemy and it dies off screen. It gives you like 85,000 blood echoes, but the code is like CUMMMMMMMM. So they call it the cum dungeon. Yeah. So I watched. This is my first John Cassavetes movie. You know what's funny is that John Cassavetes' son directed that Other Woman movie. Yeah, Nick Cassavetes. Crazy shit. Yeah. Yeah, it was really weird.
Wait, John Cassavetes is the director of Opening Night, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to get this straight because I am not able to make it to this movie in theaters, but I want to know if this is my Sunday watch.
Okay, I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Of course, we're talking about A Woman Under the Influence.
Yes.
1974. Gina Rowland. This is actually my first Gina Rowland movie. And she just passed away, and they had this big Criterion thing, so that's where I watched it.
Incredible.
They got a bunch of her movies. One of the best performances of all time. She is insane in this movie. It is a hard watch. You watch a housewife who she's really lonely. You know, she loves her kids, but she it's hard to say that she's not all there, but it's true. Like this is a struggling person, lonely, sometimes abusing alcohol, you know, gets overly excited and then blames herself and she's like, "Oh, well, what do you want me to be?" Very complex character. Um and her husband says, "Fuck this shit," and ships her to a mental hospital. So the first half of the movie builds to that, the second half is the fallout and time jumps and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's not a big spoiler, that's in the letterboxed description.
Okay.
This movie, it's 2.5 hours. I thought
Is
it was
this
really.
in the CC40 box?
I think it might be.
Okay.
This is. I've been working my way through the letterbox top 250 pretty steadily. This is number 58. I wouldn't be surprised if
Yes.
this was higher. Um, I thought this was a masterpiece. It is a pretty exhausting watch because these are all people that need and want to help but don't know how.
Mhm.
And you just watch this train wreck unfold and you experience moments of happiness. You know, the dad takes the kids to the beach and it's like this really uncomfortable moment because he doesn't quite know what to do, but he's trying. And then the mom, like Gina Rowlands, is trying her best, and her character in the second half is really interesting. Especially the last like half hour. I thought it was such a interesting film. I want to watch it again because it's such a powerful look at characters, and it's a pretty small cast. The
I'm
child
gonna double
actors.
feature this in opening night on Sunday. That's
I
my
haven't seen
plan.
opening night. I gotta check that out. Um, they have 3 kids, and the child actors are just amazing. They were really, really good. Um, yeah, I love this. I thought it was phenomenal. 5 star, easy 5 stars.
Okay.
One of my friends thinks this movie is super boring, and I cannot believe that. Like I was locked in.
Oh,
I
man.
I said to him like I did think I paused it to make some lunch, and it was like 70 minutes in, so about like halfway in, and I was like I am surprised that it's not like further along in, but then the last half went by so fast. It was just amazing. Yeah, I loved it. I think it's a masterpiece. Highly, highly recommend. And then I hit up the guy that doesn't like a woman under the influence for a recommendation, and he sent me 1971's Demons, directed by Toshio Matsumoto. He only has 2 films, 2 feature films. He passed away in 2017, so I think he just made a lot of short films. This film, I'm gonna sell this film to you in like 5 minutes, dude. You're gonna watch this shit so quick.
Okay.
Okay, so this movie is about a guy who gets scammed by a bunch of people, mainly a geisha and her husband, out
Okay.
of 100 Ryu, like whatever the currency is. And he goes on a revenge massacre to hunt them down. This movie, I'll tell you how it opens, and then I'll tell you a little bit more because I really want you to watch this. So the movie opens, and he's like walking through this house, and he starts to see dead bodies, severed limbs. This movie is insanely graphic. I've never seen a gorier black and white movie. I was astounded at how violent this movie is, dude. It's crazy. There's dead bodies, there's people hanging from the ceiling, and the only noise is creaking wood of the nooses, and they're all killed in different ways. And then it's like, oh, it was just a dream. He wakes up, stuff happens, the scam happens, and he goes on this revenge mission. And every time he gets into a position where he's going to kill somebody, he has a dream sequence where it cuts back to the beginning scene, and it's like, ah, this is what I was dreaming about. These are the people that are dying, and this is how they die. And it's this like grasp around killing people, but this is a really surreal dream sequence filled horror movie. It's fucking insanely disturbing, really weird, um revenge movie about a Ronin just on his quest for vengeance for his money back. It is fucking nuts. I gave this an easy 5 stars. Like I have little chills right now talking about it. I can't stop thinking about it, dude. It's so cool. The violence is
Yes.
insane. It's paced really, really well. Um Performances are great. It's like one of the most darkly lit movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Like everything takes place in the shadows. The tone is just so dark. Um all the top reviews are like, this movie makes me feel like human garbage. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I think it's astounding. It's so fucking good, dude. I loved it so much. Like, it's on the Internet Archive. You can watch it for free. Listeners, go watch this movie. It's so good. Absolute peak. It should be in the Letterbox top 250. 4.2 overall average on Letterbox. I don't know how it's not in the top 250. This
Okay.
movie rips.
So you talk about Finding Nemo. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, I hadn't seen Finding Nemo in a long, long time. One of my favorite movies as a kid. My dad had the mine, mine suitcase tag. Always loved that. I was cleaning my old house and threw on Finding Nemo just on my laptop while I was scrubbing cabinets. And this movie holds up so well. It's hilarious. It is maybe Pixar's funniest movie. The performances are great. Like Ellen DeGeneres, who think what you want about her, maybe not the best person, but Dory is one of the funniest characters in animation history. Albert Brooks cooking as Marlin, um, Willem Dafoe as Gil, just the man. The the two storylines of Marlin and Dory together, and then the stuff at the dentist office just works so well together. The dentist stuff terrified me as a kid, maybe contributed to my deep-seated fear of the dentist for most of my child and teenage life. Like Nemo stuck in the filter thing, just terrifying shit. Yeah, it's just so good that it's paced insanely well. It feels like 45 minutes. It's 100 minutes, hour 40. Like it goes by so fast. Um, I think it's amazing. It's a 5 star. It's top 3 Pixar for sure. Um, yeah, it's just so good. And I can't understate how funny it is. It's hysterical. I'm gonna rewatch Finding Dory pretty soon. I think I haven't seen it in a while. I really like it. I saw it in theaters and thought it was a serviceable sequel, kind of like along the same lines as Monsters University. Nothing crazy, but still worth watching. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about Finding Nemo. It's peak. It's a classic. It holds up so well. Timeless. Um, do you want to talk about Rashomon quick?
Yeah.
I yeah, I watched. It's really short. It's like 90 minutes, which is crazy because most of his movies are a bit on the long
Long.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. This like non-linear splitting stories. It's cool. Um,
Yeah.
I was enjoying it. I'll get back to it. Yeah.
So plot. Brimming with action while incisively examining the nature of truth, Rashomon is perhaps the finest film ever to investigate the philosophy of justice. Through an ingenious use of camera and flashbacks, Kurosawa reveals the complexities of human nature as four people recount different versions of the story of a man's murder and the rape of his wife. I think that does it a little bit of justice. This is one of those letterboxed bios that's written by someone that clearly loves this movie. It's
Yeah.
like, through an ingenious use of cameras and
Hell
flashbacks,
yeah.
it's perhaps the finest film ever to investigate the philosophy of justice. But I wouldn't fight it. This film is spectacular. I have seen it twice. I didn't log it the first time because I watched it on the school bus with a group of kids in the back of the bus. We were all sitting there watching Rashomon.
Hell yeah.
But the second time I watched it, I give it a 4.5. I think it is spectacular. It is sort of like figuring out the mystery of which version is the real version. As always, Toshiro Mifune, unbelievable. As is sort of what we expect from him by the end of his career. Uh, yeah, really, really great film. Highly suggest checking it out. Is it my favorite Kurosawa? No, that's easily Seven Samurai. But is it still a peak film? Absolutely. I've seen
Here,
a good chunk of his movies. I've seen Seven Samurai, I've seen Rashomon, I've seen Ran, I've seen Yohimbo, I've seen Throne of Blood, I've seen Hidden Fortress, I've seen Chenjoro, I've seen Kagemusha, and I've seen Dreams. All of them are
I really
amazing.
want to watch Dreams.
Dreams is the one that he worked with. Was it Spielberg? Someone? Yeah, Steven Spielberg and Akira Kurosawa is
That's
Dreams.
sick.
Dude, unbelievable. And Kagemusha, the visuals,
Mm.
absolutely stunning.
Um, yeah, I kind of fucked myself by starting with Ron because everyone told me the same thing I told Jagger about Fanny and Alexander, where Ron is this culmination of Kurosawa's works.
I watched
Um,
Ben pretty early in his filmography. Maybe
yeah,
it could have been my first, honestly. And I had no issue with it. I
yeah.
think it's amazing.
Oh, Ron is a spectacular review, and I'm just like, is this as good? I haven't seen Seven Samurai yet. I am hoping that we get the re-release in October because apparently that's a thing. the
Yeah.
4K restoration re-release in October. So if I don't get it, I'll just watch it then anyway. This is such an influential movie because so many other films have done that same thing where it's the same story from multiple different perspectives. One of the more recent ones is, I think it's from last year. It's called Monster, and it's a coming of age movie about these two kids. And you see it from the kid's perspective, the parent's perspective, and a teacher's perspective. Excuse me. And it's a really interesting movie. I really enjoyed that one.
If you look at the similar films, the movie I was gonna say it reminded me of is in here. Gone Girl, it reminds me a little bit
Sure,
of. Anatomy of a Fall is also in here. Nocturnal Animals.
sure.
Uh, all of these movies have been in some way inspired by this film.
Dude, shout out 47 Ronin for being in this list. The Keanu Reeves samurai movie. That's awesome.
Is that in here?
Yeah, it's at the end.
Wait,
That's
it
really
is.
funny.
7 is in here. Secret in Their Eyes, which I got from the
Oh,
library. I'm going to watch
so
it.
good, dude. There is a scene in a stadium that is just Secret of the Eyes, awesome.
And there was one more in here that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, Old Boy. Sort of reminds me of Old Boy a little bit. So yeah, highly
Yeah,
recommend checking this one out.
yeah, I'll get back to it. I want to dive deeper into Kurosawa, but it's one of those ones where you just like don't know where to start.
You can start anywhere and end anywhere.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing.
really want to watch. Shit, what's it called? The one they're remaking, the Spike Lee one, the High and Low. It sounds very up my alley, and I hate that Spike Lee's remaking it so much because
He's
I
gonna
mean,
Old Boy it. He's
yeah,
going to Old
he's
Boy
going
it.
to. Yeah,
Putting Chris Rock as Toshiro Mifune is the most self-important decision I've ever seen anyone make.
yeah.
Because isn't Chris Rock like producer on it or something? And he
Probably.
said, "I'll play the lead role in this incredibly dramatic film." Oh my god!
Who knows? It's we're doomed there. Spike Lee, you're a great director. You're a really great director. Just make your original shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting choice, but we'll see. Um, did you watch either of the Escape movies?
I have Escape from New York entirely memorized in my head. I know that movie
Okay,
like the back of my hand.
we'll start
I
there.
haven't seen Escape from LA since I first watched Escape from New York like 5 years ago, and I just remember all I can say is that I remember being incredibly let down, which is why I didn't want to rent it again, and I did not have time to swashbuckle it. So,
Dude, I feel so bad for Trey because he had to listen to me just freak the fuck out watching that movie. I had so much fun. That's a turn your brain off movie.
yeah.
But we'll start with Escape from New York.
Spectacular. It is unbelievable.
Snake
Um,
Plissken, one of the coolest motherfuckers on the planet in the history of movies. The synopsis for this movie, insane. Crimes. The movie opens. Crime in the U.S. has skyrocketed 400%. So we said, "Fuck it, we're turning New York, Manhattan Island, Manhattan, I think, right, into a prison, and there's no guards. It's just a wasteland. Like, how cool is that? The president's plane crashes on there, so they send Snake Plissken, the baddest motherfucker ever, in, inject him with
poison.
some poison. Some I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's the poison thing. No, it's the bomb thing in the first. In one of them, it's a bomb thing, and the other one, it's a poison, something like that.
Oh
Who
wait,
knows?
it is a bomb. It is a bomb. It's a,
Yeah,
like
the
a
bomb in the first one.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring the president out in 24 hours. We're gonna fucking just kill you and leave you there. And then he's like, "What president?" Oh, it's so great. It's such a great line reading. He's like, "What president? Fuck your president. Fuck your United States." Like, what a cool guy, dude. I'm gonna do it now because I had to do it at some point. Shout out to Hideo Kojima for loving this movie so much that he named Solid Snake after this guy, and in Metal Gear Solid 2 named Solid Snake's alter ego Iroquois Pliskin. Like, I love you so much, Hideo Kojima. I love you so much, dude. Like, fuck yeah. My letterbox review for Escape from New York just says "kept you waiting," huh? Like, hell yeah. This movie is so much fun. It is just a wasteland of ridiculously wacky characters. It's like almost got Warriors vibes at some points.
Yeah.
The introduction to the cabbie is so
Yes.
funny. The cabbie pulls up and he's like, "Oh, hey Snake, how's it going? I can't believe you're here." And he's lighting a Molotov cocktail while he's talking to just throw it through this building. It's so funny, dude. Oh my god, this movie is so serious but like just fucking insane. The score is peak as usual. I don't did Carpenter score this one?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I think that this is maybe top 5 scores of all time, period.
That's not ridiculous.
Um, yeah, man.
This is just a classic, dude. The action's great. It is super fun.
Isaac
Char-
Hayes is the Duke of New York. Donald
yeah.
Pleasance is the President of the United States.
Yeah, when I saw Donald Pleasance pop up in the credits, I got very excited, let me tell you. I was so excited.
Oh, man.
There's nothing to say except this movie is just so much fun. Like Carpenter is so in his bag with these uh I was talking to Trey about this and I said I had a potential hot take and I don't really know how to phrase it, so I'm just going to kind of like word spew, but
Okay.
Carpenter is probably most famous for The Thing and for Halloween.
Yeah.
Probably Halloween. I think Halloween is so middle of the pack because you it's interesting because Carpenter takes a lot of like common, not with this movie, but like common tropes. The rear window thing with someone's watching me. I know this came a lot before Office Space, but like Dark Star is that, sitcom feel almost to it. And
Yeah.
Halloween is a slasher movie, one of the originals, sure, but like I find that Halloween, when you watch other slasher movies, can feel kind of by the books. And then you go watch, I mean, sure, Michael Myers great. Like you have this killer that just doesn't say a word. There's no prolific, charismatic killer here. No Norman Bates shit. But when Carpenter isn't afraid to get weird and wacky, that's when he shines. And I just think, I mean, the fog's pretty crazy. The Thing is really The Thing is such a unique movie. We'll talk about it next week because like you know as much as the characters know. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it so entertaining is that you're like, who the fuck is the Thing right now? And you still don't know even by the end of the movie. And that's what
Yeah.
makes it so great. And I find that with Halloween, it's like, yeah, you can kind of guess what's going to happen. Laurie Strode's going to win, probably. You don't know for sure, but like, I find that slasher movies carry a certain level of predictability for the most part. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that, but it's like when Carpenter really just says, screw the normal tropes, let's make something weird. That's when it gets great. I'm super excited. I know it's a Stephen King adaptation, but like, um, Christine, a killer car. That's weird. Um,
It is
and then
definitely a weird movie. I mean, you got that
yeah,
right.
and then you have. I know you don't. First off, like They Live, crazy movie.
I
It's
love that.
so, and They Live is so over the top ridiculous. It's such a cool idea. Like, he's that kind of guy where it's like the plot's sick. Sometimes it doesn't. There's those directors that have the vision for a cool idea and it doesn't follow through in practice. It usually follows through here. I know you don't like it, but In the Mouth of Madness, super unique movie. Really, really cool. Big Trouble in Little China is like this dude when he gets
Someone gets
weird.
inflated in this movie. I mean, like,
Yeah,
this is a weird movie.
when Carpenter gets into his bag and he's not afraid to get weird, that's when he's shining. And I just like feel people overlook his other films because of Halloween. They watch Halloween, they watch The Thing. It's like I'm good, and I think
Yeah.
that's really sad. So that's my potential hot take is that you know Halloween has an amazing score. Michael Myers is great. There's some good kills, but like Carpenter has so much more cool shit, and whether you like it or not, he has an eye for just weird, and that's awesome.
If you were to ask me on any given day, I would say, in my opinion, I know it's basic. I think John Carpenter's best movie is, or like best movie technically, is Halloween. I think Halloween is a perfect slasher. But if you were to ask me, in my opinion, my favorite John Carpenter movie, on any given day, it could be Escape from New York.
Yeah.
For the first 3/4 of my time on Letterboxd, this was my number 2 movie of all time.
Hell yeah.
Um, I think it is really an unbelievable film. I think as far as like film analysis goes, it's great. It's technically really good. It's kind of gritty. It has great
Mhm.
characters. It's well written. It's really well shot. Um, it's commentary on American crime. Obviously, it's
Sure.
not trying to hide it. It's not subtle about it, but I think it is amazing with it. Um, yeah, I think that this movie's really amazing. I really do. This is an easy 5 for me. I think it
Hell
is
yeah.
maybe mm, debatably Carpenter's best film.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite action movies of all time too. And I remember my dad showed these to me when I was a kid, and I just thought they were super fun. Guy with an eye patch with a big gun. I love. We'll get to it in a second, but in Escape from L.A., I don't know how much you remember of it, but they give him this big fucking gun. They're like, "Go kill my daughter and get this black box back." First thing he does with the gun, he goes, "Is it loaded?" And they're like, "Yep." And he just unloads on all the people in front of him, and they're like, "Haha, we tricked you. The first mag was just blanks." Like that's just funny. Like Snake does not care. He's about to kill every single person that is trying to put him on this mission. Like Snake Plissken underrated as one of the most entertaining characters in the history of movies, or like action protagonists.
Mhm.
Escape from New York. Just the line at the end when Donald Pleasance looks at him and he goes, "You gonna kill me now, Snake?" And he looks at him and he goes, "Nah, I'm tired. Maybe later." Like, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. This movie is so much fun. And
Yeah,
I think that this one has a bit more to say, you know,
about
politically, stuff like that, crime wise.
then
And
Escape.
then you get into Escape from LA, and it opens with this like montage of world leaders. It's so this was the night of the presidential debate, and there is a president at the start of this movie who is like, the demons are going to get to you, and it sounded straight out of Trump's book. It's like, oh, we're going to kill the non-Christians, we're going to send them to, because this massive, he's like, there's going to be this huge earthquake, and then the earthquake hits and they turn LA into the same thing. It's like, we'll either put you in the electric chair or you can go live in LA, which is worse than New York. And yeah, so the plot is that the president's daughter is like this renegade, and she steals this black box of all this information, and he's like, I need it back. So, and then yeah, again, somehow Snake is a criminal. Like, he's this war hero, but somehow at the start of both these movies, it's like, Snake, you're the worst person on the planet. You're going to fucking jail. Like, it's really weird. It's really weird. They gas him up for all his accomplishments, and they're like, how did you get into this place? But you don't really care, honestly. It's whatever. And then they load him up. They put this, yeah, they give him this big virus, which turns out to be a placebo that makes you feel like you have the flu. And he's got this countdown doomsday clock on his like wrist, and it's like at the end it's like counting to 0, and you just expect him to die like immediately. It's so stupid. But let me tell you what this movie has. This movie has Snake Plissken skydiving into New York or LA. It's got him surfing a tsunami wave with the equivalent of Crush from Finding Nemo. It has him paragliding with an MP5 in his hand, just mowing people down.
That was this movie where he was
Yeah,
like on the thing. Yeah.
yeah, the hang glider. Yeah. Um, it's so fucking over the top ridiculous. I cannot believe how much fun this movie is. This has nothing to say,
At
but
all.
is it extremely entertaining? Hell yeah. He meets up with some people. He meets the daughter, and it's like, oh, maybe I'll save you, and maybe if you're a good guy. Who cares? I'm not there for the story in this one because it's just Snake doing cool guy shit. Um, it's very similar to the first movie, but they just like cranked up how grumpy Snake is and how ridiculous everything he does is. This is a perfect dad Sunday morning put on. And I'm positive my dad probably had this on a Sunday when I was a kid. I have both these movies at a 5-star for very different reasons, but I still think that Escape from LA is hilarious. Yeah, it just rips. You know, you got to go into it expecting. Trey probably heard me say, "Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god!" Like 50 times when we were watching this, and I was like, "I'm sorry, dude." And he's like, "No, you're good." Um, he also has it at a 5-star.
Escape from LA?
Yeah, his review says, "Jagger, this is peak." We
Oh.
said a couple times, "What's wrong with you?" Like, you should rewatch it just in the mindset of how insane it is.
Because I loved the first one, and since I loved the first one, the second one just made me a little angry because I felt like it was a bit of a dip in actual quality.
Yeah. Also, there is a scene where he meets a character very similar to the Duke, who is it's a famous guy. Yeah, Steve Buscemi's also in this movie, and he plays this like reporter scumbag. Peter Fonda is in this movie.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, but there's a scene where he's talking to this dude, and the guy says, "The only way you're getting out of here is by playing basketball." And Snake has a free throw competition with himself to score as many baskets as possible before he gets gunned down. And he literally buzzer beats the highest score at the 0. They say, "No, fuck it, we're gonna kill you anyways." And he's climbing this fence while the guns are shooting at it. Is so stupid. There's like a 4-minute scene of him playing basketball. It's ridiculous. This movie is so much fun, dude. Yeah, but you need to go in knowing exactly what it is because it is. They just crank the ridiculous meter on this thing.
That is astounding.
There was supposed to be. I was reading in the IMDb trivia. There was supposed to be a third one, and it was Escape from Earth, and it was set in space.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
Escape from LA bombed.
God
So they
bless
didn't
whoever
make it.
said
No,
to
dude,
that
they
movie.
should have. That would have been sick, dude. Could you imagine?
Escape from Earth?
That would be so peak. But this movie did not do well at the box office and doesn't have. It has a 2.9 on Letterboxd, which is crazy to me.
Dude, this movie's bad.
It's so fun, dude. Most of my mutuals have this at a 3, except for one guy who has it at a 1.5, and then me and Trey have it at a 5.
Wait, who has it at a 1.5?
His name's Dean. He's in the Real Talk Discord. Yeah, this movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I follow people that have it at 1, 1.5, 2, 1.5, 2.5, 1.5, 1. Joe Lynch has this at a 1.5. 2, 2, 2. Yeah, so it seems like some people agree with me, but then there are people that also have it at like a 4.5, 4. So this is a split movie. It is a split movie.
If you don't rewatch this, at least watch the basketball scene because it's hysterical.
Okay.
The CGI is not very good in this movie, by the way. It's pretty bad. There's some bad stuff. Yeah, I love this movie. I remembered some of the first movie. I didn't remember any of this. I probably saw it before, but I'm so glad. This is a great double feature too. It's set. I don't know how much farther it is set after the first one, but dude, there's this fucking right at the beginning because in Escape from New York, they're like, "Wow, Mr. Pliskin," and all this, and he's like, "Call me Snake."
Yeah.
In this one, they go, "Well, Snake, we need you to do this," and he goes, "Call me Pliskin." It's awesome, dude. This movie rocks. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the backdrops to see if I can understand any of what's going on here. I see him on a motorcycle with
Yeah.
a chain being whipped at him.
Yep.
I see him holding a space gun at Steve